Courage is the most important of all the virtues because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. These words, often attributed to Maya Angelou, carry a profound truth. Courage is the foundation upon which all other virtues stand. It is the spark that ignites action, the force that propels us forward, and the light that guides us through the darkest of times. But what is courage? It is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. It is the decision to move forward despite the uncertainty, the doubt, and the risk. Courage is the heartbeat of free-flowing motivation, a force that allows us to break free from the chains of fear and embrace the limitless possibilities of life. The free-flowing nature of motivation. Motivation is not a static force. It is not something you can bottle up and save for later. It is a river, constantly flowing, constantly changing. Some days it roars with the intensity of a waterfall, propelling you forward with unstoppable energy. Other days it trickles gently, whispering encouragement in the quiet moments. Free-flowing motivation is about embracing this ebb and flow. It's about understanding that motivation is not something you wait for. It's something you create. It's about finding the courage to take the first step, even when you don't feel ready. Because once you start, the momentum builds and the river begins to flow. Courage as the catalyst. Courage is the catalyst that transforms motivation into action. Without courage, motivation remains a fleeting thought, a dream that never materializes. But with courage, motivation becomes a powerful force, capable of moving mountains and achieving the impossible. Think of the times in your life when you've accomplished something great. What was the common thread? It wasn't just motivation, it was courage. The courage to start, the courage to keep going, and the courage to finish. Courage is what turns dreams into reality. The virtues that courage upholds. Courage is the foundation of all virtues because it enables us to practice them consistently. Kindness, for example, requires courage. It takes courage to be kind in a world that can often be harsh and unforgiving. Honesty requires courage. It takes courage to speak the truth, especially when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. Perseverance requires courage. It takes courage to keep going when the road is long and the obstacles are many. Without courage, these virtues remain ideals, admirable but unattainable. With courage, they become a way of life. Triliri, the journey of courage. The journey of courage is not an easy one. It is filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt, but it is also filled with growth, discovery, and triumph. Every step you take on this journey strengthens your resolve and deepens your understanding of what it means to be truly courageous. Courage is not a destination, it's a way of life. It's about showing up every day, even when it's hard. It's about facing your fears, embracing your vulnerabilities, and choosing to move forward despite the uncertainty. The ripple effect of courage. When you live with courage, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage becomes a beacon of hope, a reminder that it's possible to overcome fear and achieve greatness. This is the ripple effect of courage. It starts with you, but it doesn't end with you. It spreads, touching the lives of everyone around you and creating a wave of positivity and possibility. To turn your friends, the call to action. So, what are you waiting for? The journey of courage begins with a single step. It begins with the decision to face your fears, to embrace your vulnerabilities, and to move forward despite the uncertainty. It begins with the understanding that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Take that first step. Embrace the free-flowing nature of motivation. Let courage be your guide. And remember, the only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. The infinite possibilities. As you embark on this journey, remember that the possibilities are infinite. Every day is a new opportunity to discover something new, to achieve something great, and to become the best version of yourself. Courage is not a destination, it's a mindset. It's a way of thinking that opens doors, breaks barriers, and unlocks potential. So go forth with courage, with belief, and with an unshakable determination to succeed. The world is waiting for your greatness. The impossible is waiting to be made possible, and it all starts with you. This is just the beginning. The journey of courage is yours to take. Let your motivation flow freely, let your spirit soar, and let your dreams guide you. The impossible is not a limit, it's a challenge, and you are more than capable of rising to it. The anatomy of courage, breaking it down. Courage is not a monolithic concept, it's multifaceted. It shows up in different forms, depending on the situation and the person. Let's break it down. 1. Physical courage. This is the courage to face physical danger, like a firefighter running into a burning building or an athlete pushing their body to its limits. It's about overcoming the instinct to flee and choosing to act instead. 2. Moral courage. This is the courage to stand up for what's right, even when it's unpopular or risky. It's about speaking your truth, defending others, and staying true to your values, no matter the cost. 3. Emotional courage. This is the courage to face your feelings, both the good and the bad. It's about being vulnerable, admitting your fears, and allowing yourself to feel deeply, even when it hurts. 4th, creative courage. This is the courage to express yourself authentically, whether through art, writing, music, or any other form of creativity. It's about putting your work out into the world, even when you're afraid of judgment or rejection. 5. Everyday courage. This is the courage to show up day after day, even when life feels mundane or overwhelming. It's about doing the dishes when you're tired, showing kindness when you're stressed, and choosing to keep going when you feel like giving up. Each of these forms of courage requires a different kind of strength, but they all share one thing in common: the willingness to face fear and take action anyway. The role of fear in courage. Fear is not the enemy of courage, it's its companion. Fear is what makes courage necessary. Without fear, there would be no need for bravery. The key is not to eliminate fear, but to learn how to move through it. Think of fear as a signpost. It's not there to stop you, it's there to show you where you need to grow. When you feel fear, it's often an indication that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, and that's where the magic happens. The next time you feel fear, don't run from it. Lean into it. Ask yourself, what is this fear trying to teach me? What's on the other side of this fear? When you approach fear with curiosity instead of avoidance, you'll find that it loses its power over you. The free-flowing nature of motivation. Motivation is not a finite resource. It's not something you can use up or lose forever. It's a renewable energy source, fueled by your actions, your mindset, and your environment. The more you tap into it, the more it grows. But here's the catch. Motivation doesn't always come first. Often, action comes first and motivation follows. This is why courage is so important. Courage is what gets you to take that first step, even when you don't feel motivated. And once you take that step, motivation begins to flow. Think of it like a water pump. At first, you have to put in some effort to get the water flowing. But once it starts, the water flows freely. The same is true for motivation. The more you act, the more motivated you become. The courage to fail. One of the biggest barriers to motivation is the fear of failure. We're so afraid of making mistakes that we don't even try. But here's the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Every great achievement is built on a foundation of failures. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he invented the light bulb. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team before becoming one of the greatest athletes of all time. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not the absence of failure. It's the courage to keep going. It's the willingness to learn from your mistakes, to adapt, and to try again. The courage to dream. Dreaming big takes courage. It's easy to settle for what's safe and familiar, but it takes bravery to reach for something greater. When you dream big, you open yourself up to the possibility of failure, disappointment, and criticism. But you also open yourself up to the possibility of greatness. Your dreams are not just fantasies, they're blueprints for your future. They're a reflection of your deepest desires and your highest potential, and they're worth fighting for. So what's your dream? What's the thing that lights you up, that makes you feel alive, that you can't stop thinking about? Whatever it is, don't let fear hold you back. Have the courage to dream, the courage to plan, and the courage to take action. For the courage to be yourself. In a world that constantly tries to mold us into something we're not, it takes courage to be ourselves. It takes courage to embrace our quirks, our flaws, and our uniqueness. It takes courage to stand out instead of blending in. But here's the thing, you are enough. You don't need to change who you are to be worthy of love, success, or happiness. You just need to have the courage to show up as yourself. When you embrace your authenticity, you give others permission to do the same. You create a ripple effect of courage and self-acceptance that can change the world. The courage to start. The hardest part of any journey is the beginning. It's easy to get stuck in the planning phase, to overthink, to procrastinate. But the truth is, you don't need to have everything figured out to start. You just need to take the first step. What's the one thing you've been putting off? What's the dream you've been too afraid to pursue? Whatever it is, start today. Take one small step. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. The courage to keep going. Starting is important, but so is finishing. The journey to success is rarely a straight line. There will be setbacks, detours, and moments of doubt, but the key is to keep going. When you feel like giving up, remind yourself why you started. Reconnect with your why, and remember, every step you take brings you closer to your goal. The courage to inspire. When you live with courage, you become a source of inspiration for others. Your courage shows them what's possible. It gives them hope. It reminds them that they too can overcome their fears and achieve their dreams. So don't underestimate the power of your courage. It's not just about you, it's about the impact you have on the world.